One way, I'm going to go ahead and turn this audio off. So here, I'm just going to have you watch for a second, and we'll see if you can figure it out. So this guy's harvesting salt. That white stuff is salt. They have their own salt company. Hang on, let's wind it back here. Oh, yeah. Hang on. He's walking into the factory floor. Okay. Believe it or not, underneath this long pool of water, salt is happening. Something's happening. All right, let's keep going. A little forward. Interview. Well, I'll come back here to this part. Okay. One of the main ways that we get salt is from the largest body of salt water that we have. What do you think that might be? Salt water. The ocean, right? Yeah, it's true. You would never want to drink ocean water. If you have accidentally, you know how nasty that is. Because it's salty, right? What if you could separate the water part of it and the salt part of it? And you can. But how do you do that? Evaporation. So you start with salt water, like ocean water. So that's where they've poured in. Let me get that spot again. Come back. No, come back. Okay. That back pool right there, they've pumped in. You can see the piping a little bit. Sorry, the visuals aren't great, guys. You can see the piping a little bit where it brought in ocean water. So their plant that they're making salt from is like right next to the ocean shore, and they have their whole company right there. And they've pumped in the seawater, and then they've poured it into these long, narrow beds, and they allow it to evaporate. And so that means that the heat of the sun and surrounding air heats up the water molecules and causes them to rise and turn from a liquid water, right? We're learning about solid, liquid, and gas. Change from a liquid water to a gas, a vapor. You might think of this like changing from water to changing to like a cloud. Or if you've been outside early in the morning, you might have felt like the dew on the ground and the air feels kind of like sticky cold where there's like some wet in the air. And that is part of evaporation where water comes into the air, right? So when they do that on these giant beds right here, what's left behind is the salt part of the ocean water. And that's what he's scraping up right here. So that's one way we get salt, is just by evaporating ocean water. And that's why it's called sea salt, if you've ever seen sea salt. Another way that we can get it is from salt mines. All of that white, that is salt. And you can see, look at how small those people look compared to that cavernous ceiling. I have got to tell you, one of my life goals is to like creepy go sneak into a salt mine someday. Not legally, like get permission, but I have never seen this in person. I don't know where they are. They're probably hiding right in your backyard. Just salt mines everywhere. People mining them. Anyway, super cool. This is also an abandoned salt mine. This is not photoshopped. All of that white, like if you zoom in, I'm going to zoom in a little bit with you. Look at, oh, that's like individual grains of salt. That looks like a beach, guys. Like, you could go swimming in that. It's crazy. That we've gotten really good at making salt, right? Really good at it. The last and most fun way that I want to show you that we can get and harvest salt is salt flats. I'm just going to show you what those look like rather than tell you. This is a couple visiting the...
One of the great challenges.
Oh, ad. Okay, we'll let that play. Sorry. I had it queued up, but you know how the internet is. Okay, this is a couple visiting the world's largest salt flat. I'll tell you what a salt flat is in a second. In Uyuni Salt Flats, Bolivia, which is in South America. All right, here we go. That's not the ocean. That's salt. They're walking on salt right now. Isn't that crazy? They're married. It's fine. that. Look at how it reflects on surfaces, and it's all salt. I'm going to go back to that opening shot because I just think it's amazing. And then I'm going to tell you what this even is. Okay. When I have a desert, remember deserts are typically dry. There's usually, you might think of like sand. Every once in a while, there's something called like a monsoon season where a bunch of rain pours down and it covers this really flat surface of that dry lake bed, that dry desert bed, right? But instead of it forming a permanent lake there, because deserts are so hot, all of that water evaporates, it rises, it changes from a liquid to a gas. What does that sound like to you? It's like Mother Nature's sea salt maker, right? Remember how they made sea salt before? They would take ocean water and separate water, and then the salt will be left behind. And that's what Mother Nature has done. I shouldn't say Mother Nature. That's what God has done right here with salt flats. So what they're walking on the bottom there is just leftover salt with a tiny little sheen, a little puddle of rainwater left over. And that rainwater is what allows that gorgeous reflection of that blue sky to continue, kind of split parallel, top and bottom, to have the illusion of just clouds reflected in every direction. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. I wanted to give you guys kind of just a general background today about this thing we kind of take for granted, salt. And then as the week goes on, we're going to get more into the chemistry of salt. Chemistry being when we zoom way into things, to the smallest parts of them, the molecules, what do we find? And what does that tell us about the way they interact with other things? That's chemistry. So we're going to get more into the chemistry of salt and water on Thursday. But I want you to just kind of be thinking about how really exciting and revolutionary this is, and start getting curious about what you do with things. That experiment you did yesterday about when I put certain things in water, why do they dissolve? Why do they not? Why did salt dissolve so well? What about salt would do that? All right, guys, stay curious, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.